Hello tech family, and today I'll be introducing to you and talking to you about Kari so that you can be able to understand and be able to get the concept of Kari more and be able to also use it with ease in your project. And the first thing we shall start with is with the question of what is Kari? Is a lightweight and efficient Arduino library designed for asynchronous execution, sensor-based applications, and efficient pin control. It simplifies the integration of various sensors like ultrasonic, PIR, and infrared, and supports asynchronous task management to improve performance. And as we say, the slogan in Kari, we say it's fast, flexible, and powerful. So Kari is basically here to help you be able to do a asynchronous task. And the definition here I'm reading for you is the same definition in the official documentation of Kari. And this is what Kari does. It is simply comes to help you be able to run your code asynchronously without having to run into the issues of the blocking nature that happens in loop when you use the delay functions. And it is also builds better than using even the milis function. So that is what Kari does. And it also comes with a lot of implementation on and provides you with APIs to be able to integrate with various sensors like ultrasonic, PIR, and infrared. And when you read the documentation, you find a lot about Kari. And so you would arise with the other questions. Why Kari? Why should you use? As I've said, number one is with Kari is that it reduces complexity in IoT projects. Have you been in a situation whereby you're working in a project or in a prototype which has to use a lot of code, and you come back and your code is looks a bit messy, it's a bit harder to read it, and even someone else coming to read your code is a bit much more uh, a bit harder because your code is a lot. There's a lot of repetitions, and your code doesn't have it's not dry, right? You keep repeating yourself. So that's what Kari helps you. It reduces the verbosity of your code. It helps you write much more cleaner and shorter code while doing a lot. For example, the APIs like kariAsync, kariPars, and kariSequential, they help you do a lot. The other thing about Kari is that it enhances the workflow efficiency. Kari is event-based. That means it triggers actions based on events. For example, when your sensor, for example, senses or corrects data, using Kari APIs, you don't have to use the if statement or any other kind of way. It will just trigger an event. If there's a certain code or something that you want to be executed, when a sensor does or triggers a signal or gets to send something, then using Kari APIs, you just have to have a callback function which will execute the task which you want to be executed. So that's in that way, Kari ensures you have a very good workflow, and it's also scalable and beginner friendly. To use Kari, you don't have to be so much um, so much knowledgeable about Arduino. You don't have to be a pro or you don't have to be an expert in order to use Kari. That's the best thing about Kari. Despite it being powerful and doing a lot of complex tasks, it is also friendly to use and easier to understand. So you can be able to use Kari in. So built-in in Kari comes a lot of features and things that will make you want to shift to Kari. And number one is asynchronous execution, which has been an issue to many of the Arduino developers, having to execute tasks and handle the task in the loop function to be able to deal with non-blocking nature and light code which is non-blocking has been an issue, and many developers could use the milis function to counteract this. But when it comes to executing a lot of tasks which have to be scheduled differently in an asynchronous manner, then you find that even the milis function will divert your attention from inventing or working on the most important crucial part of your project to starting even thinking about the logic to deal with the non-blocking nature. So when you use Kari, you don't have to think about that. You just have to focus on your project and the main crucial concept of what you are building and inventing. because Kari will take care of the asynchronous execution in your Arduino programs, furthermore in the loop function. The other thing is about sensor support. Kari comes built in with various utility functions or helper functions, which come integrated with like PIR, ultrasonic, and infrared sensors. We have APIs in Kari which will help you to be able to integrate with them. It also helps and provides a way to handle your bin states in a much more efficient and in a more manageable manner by providing APIs like the Kari Pass and the Kari sequential, which are very, very friendly and help you to do some things that you couldn't do before with Arduino without blocking the program or your program. And this also opens you to more possibilities because with just one board you can be able to do a lot of different tasks which maybe previously you had to write a lot of logic of code, or else you had to have to run this program at this time and maybe shift and run another program at another time. But now you with Kari you can be able to do all a lot of you can be able to do a lot of tasks in one board at the same time in one program. The other thing is that Kari comes in as a pre-compiled library, which is a very unique thing about Kari. Unlike the other libraries which are distributed by providing the source code, in which your Arduino IDE has to compile your library together with your sketch. That means the libraries which you use always affect or increase their compilation time in your project. And this is not ideal in a scenario where you want fast prototyping and in a scenario where you are making a lot of changes in your code and compiling the code. So here's where Kari comes in. Kari comes in as pre-compiled, meaning only the time for compilation is only dependent on the amount of code you write according to your sketch which you are writing. Kari does not interfere or affect your compilation time because it's already compiled, and that means only your code is compiled and then linked to the Kari library. So it means that compilation time is faster and more efficient. So apart from just the features that Kari provides with you, it also provides you with that great advantage of enabling you to do fast prototyping and fast compilation, hence saving you on time. So that's a very great thing about Kari. And the fact that Kari comes pre-compiled, it has been optimized for both AVR and non-AVR boards for all the architectures of your boards, and it supports one variety of boards. It supports almost all the AVR boards, 98% of the AVR boards, and supports also the ESP32 boards. It has optimization for each of those boards, so you are very well assured that Kari will run very efficiently and highly performant. The other key feature about Kari is that it doesn't take a lot of space, because you could be asking, okay, what this Kari, it's coming pre-compiled, what is it, how much does it take in my program? It takes less space in your program, leaving you with a huge amount of space to work on your to write your code and do what you are inventing with in your project and in your Arduino project. So Kari is basically very, very, very supportive, and it will be a game changer for you when you work with it and you continue using it and learning and integrating it into your project. For example, you could even decide to rewrite some of your projects which you've done before and try to do them in Kari, and you will realize how fast you can be able to do them and execute them. And this is the power and the beauty of Kari. So now I'm going to show you how to get started with Kari, how to download it, because after even showing you the features, I need to tell you how do you get started with Kari, the official websites, the code practices of Kari, and show you how to get basically with Kari and yeah, hit the ground learning. So let's get going. So now the first step that I'll show you is first to take you to the official GitHub repository of Kari, which as you can see, here it is. This is the official GitHub repository of Kari. You can see it. It is in my GitHub. I'll provide a link in the video description. And here you'll find and get to read and a well-written documentation about Kari, which you can see, as told you before. Kari is a lightweight and efficient Arduino library designed for asynchronous execution, sensor-based application, and efficient pin control. and it simplifies the integration of various sensors like ultrasonic, PIR, and infrared, and supports asynchronous task management to improve performance. So asynchronicity is one of the best features of Kari. And here you can be able to get, it has very nice documentation. You can get to read the API references. You can get to know the various APIs in Kari. And the best thing is that you have basic usage example codes, which you can copy to your Arduino IDE or the IDE you're using and get to test out them and learn from them and get to see how Kari comes in. For example, you can see how you use the kariAsync to execute Vita's function. You can see it even allows a lambda expression, which is something I'm going to show you. You see it, this syntax here you're seeing, this is a lambda expression. I'll show you how to form them. And when you read the documentation, you just get to understand all this. So now upon starting Kari, you have to do installation, and here is the guidelines on how to do it. There are two ways to install Kali. One is to go to the Kali GitHub repository or Kali website, and the other one is to download the zip file of the latest release. So there are actually three ways, because you see here you go to the Git repository or Kali website. So you can go to the Kali website, or you can git clone. That I have said three. It appears like two, but yeah, three. You can do a git clone, and you will, obviously if you git clone this repository, you'll be able to access the Kali library. Once you git clone it, this is the folder in which you're supposed to copy this one here. This one named Kari is the one you're supposed to copy in the libraries folder of your Arduino IDE. This one, okay, this one here. If you enter through it, you can be able to see some of the basically the structure of Kari. So this is the one that you're supposed to copy into your into libraries in Arduino. So that's the first way. And the other way, and the other way is to download this library in GitHub is to download the latest release. And to do that, you just come here. You can see here written as releases. You just come and click it like that. For right now, the only release existing is the first one, since it's the first version of Kari. As you can see, it is version 1.0. And so to download Kari 1.0, you just come and click one of these. So you can download this as a zip folder. You click kari.zip, and that way you get to download the zip file of Kari, which you can get to extract, and you get the folder in which I'll show you, because they all end up download it from here and downloading it in the Kari website is just the same thing. So I'll show you how you do the extraction in the Kari website. So this is where you get the zip folder when you want to download it from GitHub. So now let's go back to the documentation, to the main file. So here you can get a link to Kari website, and it's important to mention that, as you can see, Kari library is distributed using Apache 2.0 license. So you can be able to click here and read about it. Make sure if there's at any given time, for whatever reasons, you are a developer and want to modify Kari or want to do something about Kari or redistribute it, you have to adhere to this license. Make sure you adhere to this license terms and conditions. So make sure you understand about Apache 2.0 if by any means you will ever need to modify the Kari library architecture, because Kari is open source. So now head over to Kari website. So here when you go to Kari website, you can see there's a home. You can be able to learn about Kari, learn the basic stuff, what Kari means, and why you need it and where to use it. And then we have all these sections. You have home, you have the download section, this is where you get to download Kari. We have the documentation section, you have resources, and you have the contacts. So in the contact section, this is where you can be able to get in touch with the Kari community. You have a Discord space known as the Kari space. So you can join this Kari space. That's where you can be able to communicate. If you have questions about Kari, you can always get answers in the Discord Kari space. So this is where also to follow more about content about Kari and other technologies, you can follow the YouTube channel here, my YouTube channel here, or you can also follow me on TikTok, and you can get the content and you can get to learn more about Kari and even other technologies coming up. The other point is about resources. Now, in resources is where you get to learn about how to do the installation of Kari from the Kari website. So this one gives you very better and more instructions, and that's why I had to bring you here into the website, because more instructions are here as opposed to where we were in GitHub. Here you get more instructions on how to do the installations, and even explaining of how to extract the files and everything. You can need this and you'll be good to go. The other part is the documentation. Here you have the different APIs like Kali Async. I've always mentioned kariAsync is one of the most powerful APIs that you'll come to realize is the most powerful API architecture which you'll have to use as well as you're using Kari. And it is the executor in the loop function when you're using Kari. It's the one that executes your code, and it's the one that schedules your code. So it's a very it's the first thing you'll have to learn to get started. It forms the basis of Kari itself. The other ones appears like Kari Pass, the Kari sequential, and the other ones are now the sensor integrations for like Kari ultrasonic. You can click to explore. You can see Kari. It gives you, you see, the outlining of the documentation in Kari is one amazing thing, quite amazing, and it's well simple and understandable. You can see it starts by giving the introduction, the key features. It gives you the function signature, which is the API references. It gives you the methods, explaining everything about how to use them step by step. And at the end, it gives you you get to see the real world usage to help you understand the concept of each and every API. And this is the best thing about Kari. Its documentation is very much straightforward and understandable. You also have Kari Begin. You see, you might think Kari Begin does not do a lot, but you see the documentation tells you a lot about Kari Begin, what it does. It helps you understand this just one line of code. What is it doing? What is it exactly doing, and why it is able to do what it does? So you can see the documentation is quite rich and good. So let's head over to the download section. This is where you get to download Kari. So you can get to click download like that, and here you get you'll be provided with the license, the Kali license terms and conditions, the ones I showed you in GitHub. Here it is supplied under Apache license. So you need to ensure that you understand this. So we scroll down, and here you have to agree to the terms and conditions, the license terms and conditions, and then you can click on proceed. The moment you click on proceed, it will definitely download the Kali library. So I had downloaded it, so I can just show you. So you'll get this kind of folder. Now they have become many here because I had already downloaded this library, but for the sake to show you, just get rid of these others. So this is the kari.zip. So this one, you just right click it and you extract the files. The moment you extract them, you're supposed to get this kind of a folder known as Kari, and inside of it you can see this is things. So this folder known as Kari, you just need to copy it. It is the one that you are supposed, it's actually this actually is the architecture of Kari. You can see it, it's the library that you need. Okay, so you just need to come here and copy it. Once you've copied it, when you in Windows you go to Documents, then you come here, you find Arduino, the folder known as Arduino. You click it, then you scroll down and find a library known as, a folder known as libraries. and here is where you get to paste it. So you just come, right click, and you paste, or you can just press Ctrl+V to paste. That's the shortcut in Windows, okay, or, or basically for pasting. So and here will be your Kari. So here is my Kari library, and that is how you do install Kari. It's that fast. Yeah, remember Kari optimizes on performance, and it's fast. That's how easy it is to install Kari. Few steps. That's why it's Kari. It's Kari, right? You're talking about Kari. So that's how fast it is to install Kari. So now next on, I'll show you how to be able to use or utilize Kari in your Arduino IDE. That's the next thing that we are going to look into after this, because I've shown you a lot of how to do the downloading and everything, and the documentation where you can read. So all of this you can come, make sure you come and read the documentation. It will help you a lot in being able to use Kari. For example, you have these special functions known as utility templates. You can come and get to learn about them. There's one of the special things in Kari which help you do even some debugging in Kari. Kari just comes in with a rich set of features to help you in your programming in Arduino. So next, let's look about how to get started in your Arduino IDE. So now I'm going to help you know how to get started with Arduino. The first thing is to test whether your Arduino, or whether you're, how to get started with Kari. And the first thing is to understand, or to test whether Kari has been well installed in your system, or whether the Arduino IDE is been able to detect it correctly. So there are two ways to do that. So first is to come to the examples, and you have to check to scroll in these libraries and get to look for Kari. So that's what we will do. Let's check whether we can find Kari among these libraries, and here it is. You can see Kari, and it shows you the various examples, content samples that you could look into: async, infrared, PIR. And so when you see this, it means you've done everything correctly, and so congratulations, you have successfully installed Kari. The other way to do is to come in Sketch, include library, and you can also scroll down here and get to look for Kari. In case you're wondering, I'm not pressing. The moment you just place your cursor on that, you don't have to press it. It will automatically scroll itself, so you don't have to worry about that. So in your case, you won't find these so many libraries. My case, I have these so many libraries because I've been working with Arduino for some time. So now here you can see this Kari. So you see Kari here, it just means you've done everything correct and you're set up to start working in Kari. And you don't have to check both methods. If you checked with this method to check in the examples and it worked, then you don't have to come into the sketch and check. No, you're already good to go. And I recommend you to always check in the examples, because here you can even be able to check the examples offered by Kari for you to get started on a certain API. So to get started with Kari, just like any other library, start by including it, hashtag include kari.h, like that. They're using names, yes, okay, like that. So you've been seeing this in the documentation and you're wondering why it is there. I'll be explaining about uh, the essence of this statement in as I continue the illustration. So in this illustration, I want to be using any sensors, actuators, or any LEDs. So we use the serial monitor. So for that, you have to initialize it. that. And in this session, I'll be showing you how to use kariAsync. So for that, you have to declare some functions. Yeah, so one like that. Maybe you could have 3 functions, probably. Just illustrate to you uh, what will be happening. Okay. And here it says cd entry, and you can copy that. You can make this on 2 seconds, like that. Okay. So now these are the definitions. These are the declaration. You can see how the syntax looks clean and neat. So now to use kariAsync, you use it by first calling it new. You carry async like that, and then kariAsync has what we call the execute method, which is responsible for executing your functions. And the way you call it is by specifying it, attaching it to using 2 semicolons like that, and then call it execute like that, a semicolon. So that is what happens. So this execute takes 2 parameters. The first one is the callback function, or the function you want to be executed, and the second one is the delay. And that delay, you are talking of delay, it's now different. It's an unbroken delay. You just tell it, it just simply means the after which amount of time should kariAsync execute that function or that code. So if it's after 1 second, you give it 1 second, and that delay parameter is in milliseconds. So if for 1 second you give it 1,000, and so on and so on. So here we'll give it printer one. We want it to execute printer one after 1 second, like that. You can go again, another one. Like that, and you can just and paste this. Okay. Now, just like that. So you can see how the code is neat and well. And so now this is just what you need to do. So we will upload this code and see how it does. And remember that you can see how fast it is in compilation. That is because the Kali library does not interfere with the compilation time. So the compilation time will basically be just dependent on this amount of code I've written. So that's why you see it's fast. And even Arduino IDE here is note, and it can tell you that the Kari library is precompiled. So it doesn't affect your compilation time, meaning you can do your prototyping very fast. So let's see what's happening under the hood. So you can see what's happening. I'll have in this code which is being executed after 1 second. Then the other one is being executed in this after 2 seconds, and you can see it. So you can see this pattern 1 1, and it keeps changing. You can see 1 1 2 1 3, and if you can just look at it, you'll be able to realize that this code is executed after each and every 1 second. This one is after each 2 seconds, and this is after each 3 seconds. Now, to make it more clear for us, let's just get rid of this that function. Let's just be left with two, so that it can be clear to you and you can be able to visualize what I'm talking about kariAsync. Let's upload it with just those uh, two executables of kariAsync, or with just those two functions. That's the one executing after 1 second and the one executing after 2 seconds. So you can be able to see what's going on under the hood. Oops, you need to get rid of that one, so that's a good thing to make sure you look at your code very well. So let's upload it and get to visualize what kariAsync is doing. Remember, there are also other APIs like kariParse, kariSequential. They are very important, and there's so much you can do, and you don't have just to do what the documentation just tells you. There's more you can do. You just have to find through yourself by yourself on what you can do based on the applications you are doing, and you can be able to exploit and find a lot of things. So yeah, I need to close this. The Arduino Uno is kind of misbehaving. So let's close the code. Hopefully that it won't misbehave, and we can be able to see and visualize what you're talking about. Arduino Uno, or the kariAsync. You can see how it's fast in compilation. So let's open the serial monitor and get to see. So here I want you to pay attention. You can see here it is 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2 1 1 2. So what does this one mean? It means that this code over here, this one, is being executed after each and every 1 second. So after each and every 1 second, it has to be run, and this one is being executed after each and every 2 seconds. So that's why in the serial monitor you will see 1 1 2 pattern, 1 1 2 pattern. So after the first second, execute one. In the second second, in the following second, this one has also to be executed, but now in that following second it will be 2 seconds, so this one has to be executed. And because this code we load it before this one, so kariAsync does what? This will be executed, and then this will be executed, and the pattern will repeat. So that's what happens, meaning that this code that has to wait for 2 seconds cannot block the ones that has to wait for 1 second, and none of these ones can block each other. So it's only at the point of execution when this one has to be executed and this one has to be executed. That's the point when now kariAsync will come in and schedule the task. So it will now look at which one was declared first. So it will execute this one and then execute this one. It's that particular time in particular point in time in which maybe their times are coinciding. So that's what basically kariAsync does under the hood. Now let me show you something else which is quite uh, powerful about kariAsync. Now for this code, you can see we are saying this defining and declaring functions just to come and execute just like one line of statement of code. It sounds like a lot of work, and for Kari, we want to minimize the amount of code we are working while having a readable and much more better syntax. So what we can do, we can get rid of these functions for sure. So to avoid repetition, I will copy this one and then I will get rid of all this. Okay, like that. So get rid of this and get rid of it. So what kariAsync also enables you to do is to write what we call lambda expressions, and the way you write lambda expression is as follows: square brackets and then parentheses and then curly braces. This is what we call a lambda expression. kariAsync will take this one as just a function. So because a lambda expression is also a function, so any code that you specify um, in this lambda expression will be executed the same way as the other code was being executed when we declared and defined function. So if we could do this code will execute after 1 second, and maybe we could add in a lambda expression. Okay, and perhaps I could copy this, and we could do the same for this other one, like that. And just 2 seconds, and we could even go further and ensure our code looks uh, well neat. Now look at that. Look at that syntax. It's so clean. It's so amazing to read. And we'll upload that and see. And this code will still run the same way as the previous code when you declared and defined functions. Now in a much more lesser code and cleaner syntax. So it's uploading. You can see how fast it is. That's what we call optimization in Kari. So fast. So you can see what happened when in the 1 second in lambda expression, second in lambda expression. I can see the same pattern remains because the code execution is still the same. So that's what kariAsync helps you to do. You can be able to write lambda expressions. So that's another powerful feature of kariAsync. It allows you to write lambda expression instead of having to write all those full fetch functions. So if by any measures in your whole code you don't have to have any isolation of other tasks, maybe the logic you are doing is a simple project, then you don't need to define multiple kariAsync. You just have to have one kariAsync, and in that particular point, maybe you don't even need to declare or to declare and define functions. You just want to maybe run your code in one single lambda expression. So this is a better syntax. So all the code you will learn inside here, even if you were to add um, other expressions, all of these we still learn. Okay, all of this code, even if you're to add more code or any extra number of lines of code, it would still actually run. So now let's go into, okay, actually maybe I should show you that no matter what code you write here, it will still run. So probably maybe we could maybe change this statement, and let's do what? Let's write kariAsync statement 2 in 1 second. Okay, going to copy that. Statement 3. Okay, I could upload that. And basically, it means even you define functions here, variables, and all what you wanna do inside of here, they will just be kariAsync is quite powerful. It will handle that for you, so you don't have to worry about scheduling of tasks or that asynchronicity or whatever happens. kariAsync will basically handle all that stuff for you, so you don't have to think about it. So you can see this code how it is being run. After each and every second, it runs the code. So that's how powerful kariAsync is. So you can see it. And to clear that, so you can see how it's after 1 second, after 1 second. So that's how powerful kariAsync is. Now, I want to show you why we need this portion of or this statement here using namespace kari. And the best way to explain to you is by removing it like that and trying to compile the code. Now, you might be wondering what will happen. I've removed it. It will lead to an error. I can tell you that for free. It will bring an error. And I want you to understand why it is there. So what is the error saying? It says kariAsync has not been declared. And whenever you see Arduino ID telling you that this has not been declared, it means it does not recognize this function. It does not recognize kariAsync. Yes, we have included kari here, but that is not enough for Arduino ID to recognize kariAsync. Why is that? And to explain why is that, I will bring back the statement. It is saying using namespace kari. Now, kari itself is built using C++. And all these functions, like all these APIs, kariAsync, kariParse, kariSequential, all of them are defined and declared in a namespace known as kari. That is where they are contained. You can imagine namespaces as a it's just like the way you would like int k equals to 9. If you never said like this, and maybe you never did that, and for example in your code use that k, you know it will lead to an error because Arduino ID will not know what is k. The same way is happening here. So this namespace known as kari is what contains all these APIs: kariAsync, kariParse, and kariSequential. And it only contains the utility functions and the core functionalities of kari. It does not contain this kari namespace kari does not contain the APIs for interfacing sensors, like the ones for kari ultrasonic, kari PIR. Those ones they can work definitely fine without using this. But for kariAsync, kariParse, kariSequential, and other utility functions and features offered in kari need this statement. Now, I can also tell you that your code can still run without errors without that statement. Yes, it can. But I've just showed you that when we remove that statement, your code runs into errors. So how can it run without it? It can by coming and saying kari, writing your code like this, kari, like that. So now when you write your code like this, you're definitely telling kari that this kariAsync should be searched in a namespace known as kari. It belongs here. You're just telling it to look for it here. So if we were to verify or compile this code, it will definitely work fine. It will compile fine. Let's see. The good thing about this kari is that it's really fast, optimized. So you don't have to wait for long for it to compile or what. It is just compiling this small sketch. Kari is already compiled, so you can already see even the Arduino ID acknowledges that it's already a precompiled library. So that is it, done. It works, right? But now let me show you another trick. Now you are to duplicate this like that. Now if you were to have this code like that, this code would run into an error. Why? Because for this one, we've told the Arduino IDE you can find this kariAsync inside of kari. But in this other kariAsync, the Arduino IDE does not know where to find kariAsync. So this whole code would bring an error, and the error would be generated here. Okay, so it means for each and every function of kariAsync ID, I have to add the kari like that. And that applies even to other utility function like kariBegin. If I wanted to use kariBegin, I would have to write kariBegin, and let's say I was initializing some pins that way. This code would just run. Let me compile it like that. This one will just work very fine. But now you see that the verbosity of the code has increased, and one of the main aims of Kari is to reduce verbosity of code. So this is a long syntax. It is quite long to write, right? It's so verbose, and we want to reduce the verbosity. And that's why we, instead of keeping and using each function, telling Arduino IDE for each individual function where to find it, we just come and tell the Arduino IDE, just come and find all of them here. Namespace. Use this namespace when you are finding the declaration and definitions of the code I'm going to use here. You have used this one, okay? And that when you include this, you don't have to. And it doesn't mean because you have included this, you can't use light that. You can still light this way and include this, but it doesn't make sense to include this and still light this verbose code. So whenever you include this statement, now you can get rid of this. You can get rid of these ones like that. You can get rid of them like that. And now when you compile your code, it will still work the same. That's what this statement does, because probably in many libraries you've seen you don't have something like that, but this is Kari, right? It's here to help you become a better developer and have the best practices of development. So that is why Kari is like that. Okay, that's how Kari works. So yeah, we don't need this, so you can get rid of it. So basically that's the illustrations in this video. So for the other APIs like kariParse, kariSequential, kariBegin, kariPL, and the other features of Kari, you can visit the documentation in GitHub. Also in the Kari website, you can be able to go and read on them. And probably I'll also be making more tutorials about Kari. And don't forget to subscribe and to get updated and get notified whenever there is a new video that comes up for Kari and other technologies. So you can be able to follow up with this on YouTube. That's by subscribing to this channel. Also on TikTok, you can also be able to follow with the same name, and you can be able to get updated about these technologies and other upcoming technologies. So now a recap of all what we have seen. You've seen how much or how easy it is to get started with Kari. And by now, I'm sure you are here, you are there, and you are very much happy and waiting to get started with Kari and build with Kari. So a recap of what we've already checked is that Kari simplifies IoT and embedded systems development. That's one of the things you've seen. It simplifies a lot of things in how you write your code. It also offers intuitive APIs and seamless sensor integration and efficient task management. And as I have told you, we'll have even more tutorials on how the Kari on the various APIs about Kari integration. But as well, all those are well documented in the Kari website, and you can, or in the even in the Kari GitHub repository, and you can read them from there. And it has a lot of rich features for you to read and be able to understand. And so you get to even the way you used to integrate with sensors before will be very much more different, much more better and efficient using Kari APIs. The other things about what we've been discussing is that Kari supports various applications from home automation to industrial IoT. So don't think that Kari is just for just for small projects. No, no, no. Kari is able to handle. It's powerful. Remember, I said it's fast, flexible, and powerful. It's able to handle even when you want to prototype for proof of concept of larger projects. Kari is there to help you, and it will be able to handle all that. So even if you are using maybe a ESP32 to do something that is in the real world application, Kari will handle that with very much ease, and it will provide you with a very, very great code base in which you can be able to interact and do things and do even much more than you could have thought. The other thing we've seen is that Kari is community driven with strong documentation and open source support. Kari, the moment currently Kari has this community, the Kari space in Discord, where you can be able to get to interact with the creator of Kari and um, to get clarity on about questions or something you've got stuck with concerning Kari. You can get to interact with the creator of Kari, or also even give feedback to him, or even get to give your concerns about Kari, and all that discussions will be happening in the Kari Discord space. This just shows you that Kari is really live and Kari is there. Also, you can follow about in Kari in TikTok. You can follow me on TikTok to also learn more about Kari and various tips on short videos, and also here on YouTube channel. Just subscribe and you get to get each and every content about Kari and other technologies, not just about Kari, even other technologies. But I'm saying that Kari is a new game changer, and if you're not developing with Kari at this point in time, then you might be overtaken by someone who is developing in Kari. They can be able to do fast prototyping than you. So all I want to hope you've understood, and this video has been of use to you and has added to you more knowledge and more perception of what Kari basically is and what Kari is doing and why it is has been developed and its existence. And you can ensure when developing Kari, actually developing Kari from the perspective of the issues I've been seeing around with working with project in Kari, and so I can assure you that Kari indeed comes to solve some of the issues. And so if you're there, you're also a beginner, you don't, you're just beginning in Kari, I mean in Arduino development, and you've just learned various basic concept about Arduino, it will be good for you to just shift to Kari so that you don't have to go through various problems. And if you are already an expert in Arduino development, then you when you look at Kari, you realize that it is a real game changer to help you do fast prototyping. So with that, I want to say thank you for watching the video or this up to this moment, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, bye bye.